Hey y'all, Timothy Jackson with Man About Home here just to do another large project that, to be honest with you, I have dreaded. I know it needs to be done, but I just know that it's going to be a headache when I start. And so that project is redoing my pantry because it's a hot mess. Like seriously, like I'm really ashamed to even show it to you. But you know, the show must go on. So I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see for yourself exactly what it looks like. So here goes. Yeah, I told you it was a hot mess, and like seriously, like it's I don't even know what to say. Like it's so much stuff. Like I can hardly tell what I actually have because it's a jumbled mess. And to be honest with you, like when I first moved into this apartment a year ago, like it made sense, like where I had everything. That's all kind of completely gone to hell. And I just kind of like throw stuff just kind of anywhere there is a space. Yes, there is a laundry basket in my pantry with pans in that I'm actually going to get rid of because they have been sitting in that spot for over a year and I have not touched a single pan in that entire basket. So those will all be disposed of today. And so, yeah, this is, yeah, it's a hot mess. So the only thing that will stay where it is because I don't know if you can see up there, but there is a shelf up there. But that's where I have like all my cake pans, like bunt pan and all that kind of stuff. Stuff that I don't use very often. And that's really kind of the only thing, you know, that really fits up there. And so that's the only shelf that I won't be touching today. But everything else is fair game. So I'm going to set the camera up and so you can get a little snippet, but I have to take everything out so I can clean everything out and then we'll go from there. So here goes. All right, y'all, I'm back. So just kind of want to go over with you all kind of what I've done. And so, of course, I've cleaned everything out. And I start putting some things back in to kind of see how I want it to go, right? This up here is something that I wanted. I know this shelf is pretty tall. And so I know I wanted to do this. I specifically saw this for this particular purpose. That I really, really liked. And so I hope that it goes the way that I want it to. And it is for this. all of my saran wrap, foil, parchment paper, all of this stuff, my sandwich bags, freezer bags, all are gonna go. Well, yep, there it goes. Now this is real life. There you go. And I may change that around some. I may take those parchment sheets out. But I'll play around with it. That's what the point of that little shelf is. I really, really want that. Then I have my containers put in here. I don't know exactly just yet what's going in what, with the exception of these three. These are OXO brand that I bought at Target. This is not originally what I was going to go with. But the ones that I had initially ordered were on back order, and I didn't want to wait. And so I canceled that order, and I just went out and bought these. The rest of these containers came from QVC, believe it or not. They are the Lock and Lock brand, you know, and they're just really, really heavy plastic. And they come, of course, with lids that lock on all four sides. And so I have a lot of smaller ones too. I just need to get out of the dishwasher. And so they are dishwasher safe. The great thing about QVC that I really love is naturally, like going in Target, yeah, I had to buy these today. Like the whole thing. And they're $18.99 a piece. The great thing about QVC and Lock and Lock is they have easy pays. And so I was able to get all of these on 5 easy pays, which means that I was able to get the entire order split over 5 months. And so instead of it being on the front end, cost prohibitive, I'm able to do this without having to wait. And so I made that first payment, they send the stuff to me, and then they will automatically debit the remaining parts for the succeeding months. And so that's the great thing about using QVC. You should really, really check that out if you've never used them before. So that's, again, with the exception of these three, the rest of these are all Lock and Lock brand. Then on this shelf, I have a riser. Bought this out of Target as well. Again, I knew I wanted to use that specifically for my canned goods. Want to be able to get double duty. And so, of course, the smaller ones will go on top, the larger ones on the bottom. I got this Lazy Susan. Bought this. You can find these pretty much anywhere now. But got this one online, Amazon. And I'll make sure to link all of this stuff in the description box. But I'm going to use that for like vinegars and like olive oils and things like that I use a lot. And I'll just be able to, again, you know, with the Lazy Susan, be able to turn that. The next 4 of these, if you can see this, they're just clear containers. I bought these from the Container Store. If you don't have a Container Store, no biggie. Walmart, Target, they all have variations. It's not that big of a deal. I just went, they had a sale a couple of weekends ago. So that's where I got those from. And on the bottom here is a shelf. A shelf that I found on Amazon. And again, like I said, I'll link all of this stuff in the description box. One thing I wanted was, again, I'm trying to expand my storage. So instead of it just being kind of flat, I want to be able to create layers that I can add additional stuff. So I found this expandable shelf here, basically. And the great thing is, again, like I said, it's expandable. So if this was narrower, I could bring it in and make it fit. But I have it pretty much almost out all the way. But yeah, and so that's going to provide me some additional storage. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn everything off. And I'm just going to go through the painstaking process of emptying things into containers and kind of seeing how I want it to go. And when I come back, we'll be done. So, and we'll just take a tour of everything. So, give me, I don't know how long this is going to take, but I'll be back. All right, y'all, I am back. And after kind of figuring out where I wanted everything to go, I really like the way that it looks. And it looks completely different than it did a couple of hours ago. So let me show you. I know, right? It's amazing what some organization will do. Taking some time, being very thoughtful about where you want things to go, how you use it. Because this may be functional to me, but completely not make sense for you. That's the great thing about organization. It's what works for you. And so this works for me. I know the things that I use most often. And so I really wanted those items, and I placed them where I could easily get to them. So I'm going to give you a quick tour of kind of everything. Of course, I showed you this. This is just, I love this little thing already. And it's just literally where all of my saran wrap, foil, all that kind of stuff is. Then I have like my pastas, so my penne, my elbow, my spaghetti. I have my Fruit Loops, and some rolled oats back there. And then these are some, of course, you know, white vinegar. And some extra virgin olive oil and some lasagna noodles back there. My little, small little food processor, if I can speak correctly, is back there. And then these are just a set of nesting bowls that I use, plus my grandmother's sweet tea pitcher. And then on this second shelf is just really everything baking. So in these three large containers, the one that I told you I got from Target, the OXO brand, it's my self-rising flour, my all-purpose flour, and my sugar. Those are the three that I use most often. And so I have other flours or whatnot that I use, but those are the main ones. Of course, all-purpose is just your generic flour. Self-rising is all-purpose flour with the leavening in it. So it has your baking powder, baking soda, all that kind of things in it. Your brown sugar, cocoa powder. Then I have my cornmeal, some powdered sugar back here, my baking soda and baking powder. And then these are just some chocolate chips, which, yeah, I know. And then my cube sugar cubes that I use to make my old fashions. And then these are just some bar chocolate extracts, vanilla extracts, honey, my spray, some yeast, and then there's some cake flour back there. It's brand new, so I did even put it into a canister. This shelf it's really kind of empty, to be honest with you, but it's my my second bowl to my KitchenAid stand mixer. Of course, you got to have my tea for my sweet tea. It's stevia or Splenda, basically. My honey roasted peanuts. Then I have panko and regular breadcrumbs, so two different things. Cornstarch. My old time grits. These are not the quick cooking grits I keep in the refrigerator. I use most often. White rice. Then I have arboreal rice, which is of course what you use to make risotto. In the back here, I also have basmati rice, which I really like. And I am actually, add to my list, I'm out of jasmine rice, which I like to use, especially for like anytime I'm like using rice for like gumbo or like red beans rice, jambalaya. I love using jasmine rice. And like I said, I do have panko and one of my favorite snacks of all time, dried cranberries. Then on this row is kind of really like a menagerie of things. These are all my canned goods, basically, and so those are just there. Also some prepared sauces that I could just kind of whip up a quick meal. This is just really kind of my this and that with a number of different sauces and vinegars and peanut butter and my maple syrup and all of that. Molasses too. And then these bins down here. This is really kind of like, I'm not going to pull it out, but it's basically like my overflow stuff. So I have like brown sugar, powdered sugar, my chocolate chips, almond flour, some really dark cocoa, also some more self-rising flour, and my corn syrup rather. Then this is like a lot of my drinks are in here. So my other different types of tea, I love like tea. And so I have a number of different types in here, plus my Tang. Yeah, old school Tang. I actually don't use it to drink with, but I make a Tang pie with. So, and then I love like dried fruits. I put it in granola all the time, and so that's what all of this is. So my dried apricots and figs and blueberries and apples and bananas and strawberries are all in here. Then over to this side over here, I have in the back my ramen noodles. And then this is just a little canister with some dried beans. And then this bottom here, if you can see, I hope you can, it's just my potatoes and like some plastic goods, so like paper plates, plastic cups and stuff like that. And then this is just kind of a catch-all of like prepared items like box rices, my polenta, popcorn, Belgian waffle mix, stuff like that. And then on the bottom, I have all of my pans, the ones that I decided to keep. And so, as I told you, I didn't change anything up there up top because I don't use those very often. And so, as you can see, I have plenty of room. And so I refused to go grocery shopping until I did this, because that way I would know what I needed. A couple of tidbits, like I said, I'm using primarily Lock and Lock brand for these. The labels that I bought for these, I'm going to be honest with you, are garbage. They just don't really, like, most of these don't have labels on it. And so I'm going to have to find another option. But, you live and you learn. But, and so, like I said, Lock and Lock brand, I would just tell you, again, just try to figure out what your system is, what you use. If you have children and they like quick things like where your snacks and stuff, naturally you would have a snack section. I don't do very much snacking, but if you have children where you're doing that constantly, naturally you would have a space there. If you're not much of a baker, you don't need a whole shelf of baking stuff. I am. So again, it's just whatever works for you. And so I hope that you found this inspiring. Again, I do want to thank a good friend of mine. We went to college together. Her name is McKee Sykes, with her organization, her business, Wait, Pray, Create, where she does a lot of storage options, organizing, things like that. And so she actually helps her clients do things like this. And so that inspired me to really, get to work and get my pantry up into good shape. And so I'm so excited on how it turned out, and it looks miles different than it did a couple hours ago. And so again, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to put all of the things that I use in the description box below. If you like this video, please like it, share it. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and make sure you turn on the notification bell. Again, thank you so much. It's Timothy Jackson, the Man About Home, where we're really trying to turn our homes into the things that we love. And so I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Thank